Welcome back to another episode of Gamer Zero, where we spread that gaming truth like a virus. I'm your host, T Hill. So, you know the title. This is my Uncharted 3 review. Drake's Deception. Yeah. Love the game. So, I'm not going to take up too much of your guys' time. Really just want to... I've gotten it several hours through the MP co-op. Finished the game last Tuesday, yeah, because I did the midnight launch. You guys saw the unboxing video. So, what's the story all about? This is a story of really building that bond between Drake and Sully, you know, his kind of mentor, his father figure, the origins between the two, how they got to connect, and really the bonds that are between them and what Drake would do for Sully and vice versa. Takes you several different places across the globe. The story is so strong. The narrative is so strong. But just the banter and the wittiness that you're expecting from the franchise, it's all there in spades. I think part 2 had some stronger, I guess, strings that were pulled, mainly because the ties with Elena and Chloe, the kind of three-way love battle that was going on, the romance. But I really liked the way the father figure was played out, how Sully was this really strong person in Nathan's life, whether good or bad, you can take it however you want. But there's this antagonist, protagonist, I can never remember which one. I'm sure you guys will correct me. Marlo, which is the bad chick. It's not like Lazarevich from part 2, where it's this overly brutal, aggressive person. She's more of a mental type of person, willing to play games. Just, she's a lot more ruthless through her tactics, not ruthless through I'll shoot you in your dome. But the conviction she has, her men's conviction, Talbot, I think his name is Talbot, is just a crazy dude. In the way they play him up, he's like the psychotherapist type of guy. I won't go through the whole details. I don't want you guys to get any spoilers out of this. Phenomenal story. The narrative super strong. You will feel a lot closer to Sully than you ever have. Elena, of course, we've all seen videos. She is in the game. Chloe, she is in the game. There's a new character throughout the game, and I won't ruin it and let you guys experience your time with him. But story, just phenomenal story. So graphics, how does this thing look? Let's put it this way. I played through the whole game in 3D. There's nothing, and I cannot stress this enough, there is nothing on the market that even comes close. There is not a game, if they're in a race, if Naughty Dog's in a race, every competitor is so far in behind them, they can't even see them in their rearview mirror anymore. Naughty Dog is head and shoulders above everyone else graphically. The fidelity of the environment, the subtle nuances of movement and gesture and like debris, the sand is amazing. The water, the rough seas, and I can't stress this enough, that scene is so insane. There's not a game that can even come close. Not even Uncharted 2. Uncharted 2 and Uncharted 1 seem like beta testing for Uncharted 3 because it is such a huge jump. And as modest as Naughty Dog is, Uncharted 3 is leaps and bounds above it. I mean, I cannot stress to you, the graphical fidelity is like none other. And 3D is so well captured and so well used. You can tell the whole game was coded for 3D. And the HD 3D, you don't miss anything. When the God rays are coming through, when someone's aiming down their barrels at you, and the infrared beam is scanning the horizon for you, and when you're firing bullets and they're firing back at you, when rockets are coming by, when stuff is exploding, there's a whole kind of Jason Bourne running scene where you're maneuvering and you're jumping from platform to platform, and it is so spectacular. I don't think this generation will see another game at this level until the next Uncharted. I mean, if they can beat what they've accomplished with Uncharted 3, amazing. So let's get into the gameplay. Tight, precise. If you're used to the Uncharted franchise, you'll be right at home. Climbing. It's broken up to about three portions. There's for the main campaign. You've got 1/3 of it's platforming, 1/3 of it is puzzle solving, and 1/3 of it's combat. Pistol swinging, brawling. So it's fairly evenly paced out. You never feel any like you're ever doing anything for too long. Plus the cinematics are salt and peppered throughout the game, but you're in control of cinematics, so it's like you are fully in control of this movie. And when I say a movie, you usually think of all these really cool cinematic pieces, but in games it never really translates as well. Uncharted has been one of the franchises that has been able to capture that flawlessly, and Part 3 takes it up a notch. The set pieces and the way you interact with them is so much more from a gameplay perspective. I mean, like, just the brawling aspect was always one of the weakest parts of the game, and the way you can interact with an environment, grab a bottle, smack somebody over the head with it. When you're doing a combo, you can throw them up against the wall and use that to your advantage. Like, if I'm in a fight, I'll purposefully grab somebody, throw them up against the nearest wall, so that way I can finish them off against the wall. Either sometimes that's a punch, or sometimes it will be slamming their head, or sometimes he'll kick them in the groin. One of the cool ones is when you get up against the bigger guys, and you're getting into these fisticuffs, so it then becomes this really really becomes a parry system, because the guy's way bigger than him. The dudes are way bigger, so each one of Drake's punches feels so much more impactful. And the last one, I always loved it when he just lingers over, and it's just like a haymaker. He's throwing to the wind, and all shit's to the wind, and bam, dude goes down. You see him slough over. It's amazing. So, the standard combat, standard type of guns that you're used to Uncharted, there's nothing revolutionary there. It just, they fine-tuned it, runs a little bit smoother. Some people complain about it being too sticky. I just upped the sensitivity right away. I take 5 seconds, get used to the controls, boom, right into it. The learning curve is seriously like 2 minutes. And then I was sniping and shooting with the best of them. So you got all that from the gameplay portion. Narrative, always. I love how they managed to capture those sequences in games that you would have thought they should have been a cinematic, but you're actually in control. Part 2 did it when, I think it was Jeff the cameraman, his arms over your shoulder, and you're helping him carry, and then you're shooting. Those type of moments are salt and peppered throughout the game, which are just amazing, and I love those. Especially, oh my god, the last part is crazy. And when you say typical boss fight, it's not a typical boss fight. I'll leave it at that. But that, plus the airplane scene, with all the interactivity when you're hanging, and then the sand, when the crate hits the ground and you're on the sand, and then I can't even, I don't want to ruin it to you. There's a whole horse scene that's just, holy shit. It takes the whole truck scene from when you're jumping from truck to truck in Part 2, and it says, yeah, you think that's good? Bam! Bang it up a notch. I mean, it is hot fire. Let's move on to replayability. Replayability. It's got MP. The co-op is the MP is so much more defined. They really look to expand on it, and look to, the big brothers in the MP world, like the Call of Duty, the EAs, all these really well-established MP components. And Naughty Dog brought a lot of that stuff in, because you want that stuff. You can't leave it out. But they have their own twist to, the perk systems, and we've all heard about that stuff in the past. But it's a lot more fleshed out. The ability to customize your characters from, I wouldn't say 1,000, maybe we'll see more down the road, but you can either get a standard hero or villain, generic, and then different hats, glasses, gloves, pants, shirts, all this different stuff. Customize your emblem, and the leveling system is so much more important now because of all the unlocks and how the unlocks are all based on your level. Um, and it seems to be fairly balanced. It's nothing's too expensive, nothing's too hard to achieve. Um, the, the mechanics are, I think that actually the controlling is even smoother. I played the betas, they're good. This one seems a lot more polished. The sprinting mechanic actually works a lot better than in the previous versions, the beta. Because when you're sprinting, you can easily transition to a slide under, a punch in the face, a snap of the neck from the back. It's a lot more polished. And you can't feel like you're sprinting for too long. There's so much to this game. I know I'm not going to be able to cover every single facet of it. The co-op I loved in part 2, but it always felt so limited. One set of experience with the co-op. This one, it's a whole bunch of different set pieces that you can go through with you and 2 of your buddies. This is what I wanted. And you're not... Excuse me, I just finished eating dinner. You're not squared away with having one attire. Like I did, what was it? The last one I just played. It was like a horde mode. I forgot what their title of it is called. But you know, waves after waves after waves of enemies come after you with different obligations. Either stay in this box and then kill from the box, or go get the treasure and deliver to another part, or, you know, survive wave after wave. There's a lot of there is variety. I know I'm oversimplifying it, but it's so nice that your experience from your co-op carries over to your MP and vice versa. And actually, one thing I noticed is that some of your unlocks, so like your MP9, M90 or whatever, MP90, or I'm sorry, there's so many different gun names. Say you have the AK or whatever, that's your stock weapon. And the reason why I want to say the M90 is because getting it in co-op is, I think, level 16, but yet getting it in... no, it's like for the costumes. If you unlock something in co-op, it's a lot lower level than it is in MP. They want you to work more for it. You're going to be doing a lot more matches. There's just so much content for it. Plus, there's all the treasures in the main campaign that you can go through, which actually tie into the unlocks. Whether it be guns or attire, getting the treasures in the main campaign unlocks shit for the co-op and the MP, which is nice. One thing I did notice that was completely and utterly removed from the game, which I found weird considering Part 1 and Part 2 both had it, was when you played the main campaign, you could unlock different skins for Drake. Maybe you want to play as Tenzin or Schaefer or Elena with different outfits, or Lazarevich. Or in the first one, you can play like Eddie Raja, Navarro. All that skin feature, the unlimited ammo, all the different gun types, that's completely gone in Part 3. I really like that feature. Some people just didn't care for it. I enjoyed it. It's gone, but it's not that big of a deal because the co-op in the MP is so much larger, and you can unlock all that stuff and play it in there. So sound and narrative. Oh my God, the music, sound, narrative. I love, and I can't spoil the scenes for you, but the boat scene, there's the desert scene, and the horse riding scene are like 3 of my top favorite ones because the music captures the essence of the moment so well. There's a chase scene, I don't want to tell you about it, but there's a chase scene in the game that's so epic in proportion, and the music feels like you are seriously like in a Jason Bourne movie. Like, your heart's racing, you're vibing with the game, and I was so pumped off of it. The vocals, it's Nolan North, and he does a phenomenal job, and I've always been a big fan of Nolan North, and him reprising his role as Nathan Drake, it was phenomenal. God, I can't, I'm having a brain fart with all the actors' names, especially Elena, considering I watched her on my show Haven. But just the vocals are of the top caliber in the industry, higher than movie grade. The narrative pulls it all together. The sound design, when you're firing around, it feels like each weapon really has their own distinct sound. I like that, but they're not overly aggressive unless it's like a rocket launcher or a sniper rifle. Every other one feels uh, distinct, powerful, but yet not like vicious, like you would hear a chopper. I don't think I'm articulating that as well as I possibly could, but they feel less. A lot of games put in an aggressive tone to guns and the sounds they make more so than what they really do. I think an Uncharted captures a healthy balance along with the way the vibe of the game is. So the music, the sound, the narrative, just amazing. From the sound of the punches to when you clock somebody and they go down, or when there's a scene you get rammed into a wall. It just captures it so well. I mean, just breathtaking. If I have to give this game a score, I would be a fool after the experience that I just had, and that it delivers so flawlessly on every front. Every single front. It's got to be a 5 out of 5 badasses. Uncharted 3 is the game of this generation. I cannot think of a game this generation. And the only other one is a personal taste, and there are some people would have difference of opinions, and it's more a taste thing for me. That would put in that same caliber would be Darksiders, but it's a taste thing. It's not on all of its merits, but Uncharted 3 is a generation definer. As Halo was Microsoft's generation definer for Xbox, Uncharted 3 is the generation definer for Sony for this generation. I would go as far as saying maybe it could define gaming. Yeah, it could define gaming. So let me know what you think. Uncharted 3, Drake's Deception. It's a 5 out of 5 badasses. You can't go wrong. Go out and buy this game. You guys saw my collector's edition unboxing. Go out and buy the collector's edition. You can follow me on hiphopgamershow.com. On Twitter, it's T_Hill0. Or if you want to game with me online, it's T-Hill. All right, I'm out. Peace.